McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles as part of a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Participate in McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theaters.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy David with BWR Renaissance, and I'm here today to tell you guys about Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the best place to make a podcast. Anchor is a free app that has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone. Anchor also distributes your podcast across all major platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many others. You can also make money on your podcast with Anchor with no minimum listenership. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So if you're looking to get started on your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm.
Welcome to the BWR Renaissance Podcast, the podcast dedicated to normalizing black wealth and sharing helpful tools and resources that we believe will be useful for attaining and maintaining generational wealth. I am your host, David BWR. Welcome to episode 3 of the BWR Renaissance Podcast. David BWR here. Jalen and Kelly here with me.
What up?
What's going on?
What's good, fellas? How y'all weekend was, man?
Man, it was pretty good, bro. Like, did a little fishing, you know.
Yeah, you and I were together, bro.
Yeah, the fishing wasn't the best, but yeah, still, it was good. It was fun.
We ain't catch anything, guys. That's what we mean to say.
Hey, but a bad day out in the lake is better than a good day at the office.
That's very true. That's where I was at the office all day yesterday, and today I've just been working on BWR Renaissance stuff for the websites. Coming soon.
All those goodies on the website, man. Yeah. But let's get into it, fellas. So this episode, we're going to be talking about retirement. We went and we asked in our story just to see if what people wanted to kind of hear about with retirement, and we got some feedback. So we're going to talk on a couple things today. Really, we just want to give y'all like a general overview of retirement, kind of like an introduction into it. We're going to talk about IRAs, 401ks, but the types of IRAs and the pros and cons of each, why retirement is important, and just ways to save for retirement. So let's dive into it, fellas.
Yeah, I want to start with 401ks.
I think we could go with 401ks, and I'd like for you to explain it, Kelly. So,
okay. So from my basic understanding is that a 401k is your basic retirement fund that your employer offers you. Not all employers do this, but some do. And basically is a retirement fund that you contribute to, that is before tax dollars, that when you reach the age of 59 and a half, that you will be able to take out of for your retirement. And now this 401k, excuse me, you're allowed to invest in the mutual funds. A lot of people invest their 401ks in the mutual funds, but and with a 401k, sometimes you're not allowed to do as much. Let's say for an IRA, you're more destined to do either what your employer has set up for you, which will be like do you want to put 70% of your money to stocks, or 30% to bonds, or 50-50? They normally don't let you allow a lot of wiggle room for you.
So you don't really get to micromanage the 401k as much.
No, there's not a lot of micromanaging. It's normally set up to you, and you do it by. And there's some of them, like the employer that I have, they offer us to do it. They do it by retirement age. So because I'm really young, my retirement age is pretty far off, so they do a lot of stocks compared to bonds because it's more risk. Because they have a longer time for it to grow.
Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, with the 401ks, I wanted to kind of get back to that employer match thing. that's one of the big benefits of 401ks for like people who want to save for retirement. Just because you're getting free money and it makes no sense to turn it down.
Yeah,
you're getting free money from your employer. So
let's
if you
explain
have that, take advantage of that.
Let's explain the match part of it.
Okay, so real simple, like with Acadian, my job with the ambulance, they'll match us up to 4% of our total income for contribution. So our total annual salary, they'll match us up to 4% of that in donations. So if you donate 4% of your income to your IRA, they'll match you to 4%. And you're getting double what you're paying into it because your employer is matching you up to a certain percentage. And you don't have to stop contributing up to that percentage that they match you to. It's just free money that's on the table. So feel free to contribute as much as you can.
okay.
And with this employer match, don't be fooled by it, guys, because you don't get access to it right off the bat. So when you go look in your 401k, you might look into it and it only has what you put in there. Sometimes it might not take a year or two for it to actually show up on it. And also you won't be able to invest with it. I don't know how long it is. It might depend on the employer, but it also takes time for you to be able to invest that money, the free money that they're giving you.
So they kind of borrow that money off inside of you, kind of like because we don't really have pensions anymore. So is that basically the pension? Because that's kind of how my job treats it. They do the employee stock.
Yeah, it's kind of
stock is our pension.
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting, man.
Yeah,
and as well as if you aren't able to take this money out of a 401k, it will come with a penalty. And same thing with the employer match. You're not actually able to take that money out because that money is not something you contributed. They're not allowing you to take that money out.
And honestly, it's when we're talking about the 401ks as an investment vehicle, it's not something that you should be looking to take money out of anyway. But you can borrow against your 401k with your employers, like borrow against the cash value of the 401k. Not something I would recommend, but in investing and things of that nature, maybe you might want to use it for leverage for an investment.
Yeah, I think the investing in it with a 401k, I think you should do that later on when you've built it up years upon years and you've had a lot of income into it. You should do it. I don't think when you're starting off, you should just let it build itself.
Yeah.
Treat it as like a bill. And honestly, with mine, I don't even pay attention to it because it's before tax dollars. I don't even notice it, and that's one of the benefits that they have for it. That a lot of people don't even see it from their paycheck. You just notice that you got to pay it a lot less than you normally would, but you don't know where it's actually going.
So I got a question. Explain the before tax dollars part.
So
before
tax dollars meaning when your paycheck comes in, it is the money that's getting put into your 401k is not taxed at all.
Okay.
It's not taxed at all. You will eventually pay taxes when you pull the money out. You were doing it for retirement at 59 and a half or longer. That's when you will pay your taxes.
Okay, so basically they're going to take a $1,000 lump sum of taxes on it.
At the end.
At the end?
At the end when you're pulling it out, yes.
Okay, so that could also, it's just going to depend on what the taxes look like in the future, or is it like a set in stone amount that will be taxed?
No, so it's going to be based off what the taxes are in the future. So you're kind of playing a betting game on that. This is where it comes into what do you think your life is going to be later on? Because that's what's going to determine if you want to do a 401k or IRA. So a 401k to me is better if you are knowing you're going to be in a lower tax bracket when you retire. Yes. But you're taking the chance because you don't know in the future. You don't know what those taxes are.
The tax code could get completely overhauled.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking, because I wanted some insight, and I'm pretty sure some of the listeners would probably want some insight on that too.
But we're kind of talking on 401ks a bit, so kind of let's get into our IRA because we mentioned them, and I'm pretty sure people are kind of wondering why we prefer IRAs to 401k, just our opinion.
So an IRA is you said is an individual retirement account, correct?
Yes, individual retirement
I just
account.
want to make sure I knew what it stands for. So it's the IRA's individual retirement account, and it is similar to a 401k, money into it for a retirement fund, but it's different in the fact that it's for yourself individually. It's not through an employer. So there is a max on both of them. So we talked about 401ks. The max on 401ks this year I think went up to 18,000 or 19,000. I'm not 100% sure. It's one of those two. And then the max for IRAs actually went to go up to $6,000 a year. So your maximum contribution for it is $6,000 a year without your employer. So you don't even need. You can be self-employed or as long as you can prove that you have a job, and they can prove that you are able to contribute to your IRA.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles as part of a Minecraft movie meal with your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Participate in McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theater.
And yeah, just to get a little bit more specific with the numbers are age-based with the IRAs.
Yes.
So up until age 55, you can put as much as $5,500. No, I'm sorry. You can put as much as $6,000 into it. But if you're younger than the age of 50, you can only put $5,500.
No, they actually went here in 2019. That's one of the things that they changed, actually, and it went up to $6,000 for below 50, and then I think it actually went up to $6,500 for above 50.
Okay, so it went up by $500 for each.
Yes.
All right, and the max contribution for the IRA is $19,000 now. So you were close.
No, for 401k it should be $19,000.
Yeah, 401k.
Yeah.
For the
$19,000 a year.
Yeah, $19,000 annually because it's not as liquid as the IRA money.
So that's the most that you can contribute each year in compound.
Yes.
$19,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides to an IRA compared to a 401k is the max contribution is only $6,000. But I prefer it because I am able to micromanage it. I'm able to choose what am I investing in compared to a 401k. You really got a cookie cutter one where it's you only choosing your age, you only choosing these three options of what you want to invest in.
You're getting that mutual fund manager that really probably doesn't care about whether you make money or not.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, mutual funds are not a terrible thing. They're not a bad thing either. They're good for certain people. If you're one of those people that don't really want to look out for your money, you just want to put your money in and have somebody else do it. You don't want to focus on it. Just let it grow by itself. Then maybe a mutual fund is best for you. But I know personally that's not for me. I definitely want to look at my money. I want to know where my money's going.
Yeah, I'd rather be knowledgeable of where your money is going route.
Yeah, because like David said, you got some people that just might not care where your money's going. If they're making a better spread for them, hey.
Because at the end of the day, they here for their check. They got to get paid just like you get paid. But
I think
one of the major benefits for the IRA, and the big differences between the IRA and the 401 is the post-tax dollars.
And you're speaking on the so that's for a Roth IRA.
Yeah, the Roth IRA.
So that's what I like. We could go into the Roth IRA versus traditional, or Roth versus traditional, because it applies to both sets of the 401k or the IRA. So for a Roth IRA, you are going to go for after-tax dollars. After-tax dollars. So basically, when your check comes in, then you would contribute after you've been taxed from your check. So then when you retire or you get to that age of 59 and a half, you are able to pull that out without being taxed on it for the growth. So when you invest, and say you invest your check and then that it grows 8% each year, that 8% each year that it grew, you're not able to get taxed on it. That's tax-free dollars.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Also, another thing that we were talking about, the investment with the Roth IRA, the ways you can use it as leverage to use it as an investment tool for real estate.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, can one of y'all go in depth for that? just so people can get a better understanding of how that works.
So, from my understanding, when you pull the money out of the Roth IRA before the age of 59 and a half, you're going to take a penalty. But that's if you're just pulling it out for cash. But if you want to take that money and reinvest it, you can take it from the IRA and put it into an investment property. And the growth from that investment property, it still wouldn't be like a cash flowing asset in that regard. It would be a cash flowing asset for your IRA. Is that correct, Kelly?
Yes, that's correct. So you're pulling it out, but it's not necessarily pulling it out for cash value, like you said. It's going straight into that investment.
Okay. So I got a question. So say, like you saying, it's a cash flowing asset. So say I got a property that's cash flowing $500 a month. So that $500 a month is going to be going to the Roth IRA and not coming to me directly, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to contribute to your Roth IRA. You get an investment property that could fund up
Get
that
you a fourplex that could make you some money quick.
That'd be beautiful.
And the Roth is just saying that it's after-tax dollars. So it also attributes to the 401k. So they have a Roth 401k as well. When we began talking about 401ks, we were originally talking about the traditional 401ks. Talking about Roth 401ks, we're speaking of after-tax of the 401k. So basically, you're going to get taxed first and then contribute that to your 401k. Now everything else stays the same. Where you're only going to probably be able to choose a couple of different options, and the max contribution would be $19,000. But at least you're contributing after tax dollars. So when you pull that money out when you retire, it will be tax free.
Okay.
Tax-free money. Tax-free is the best money.
I got another question with the Roth IRA though. So you see how we said it's up to $6,000 a year, correct?
Yeah, annual.
So say you got a cash flowing asset that creates more than $6,000 a year.
Well, okay, so if you contribute more than what the limit is, either the $6,000 or $6,500, you're gonna have to pay a tax on that any of the assets past that. So it's a 6% excise tax, I believe it is, that you have to pay. But with the way the IRAs are set up, they try to protect you against that, because normally the manager probably would advise you doing that if it's going to put you to the point where you're losing money.
Okay. Well, cool then. That's just another question that I know I had a question for, so maybe they got some clarification for some of the listeners.
Hey man, gotta ask questions.
And then we also there is also a traditional IRA.
Yeah.
So a traditional IRA may be benefit for some people where it's before tax dollars. So you won't be taxed on it now. But when you pull it out at 59.5, you will be taxed on it later. It's just on what your opinion is on when you want to retire and what your goals are when you retire. And I think we should get into discussing what can you invest in when you get to an IRA. And there's multiple things. So there's like David said, there's real estate that you can invest in real estate through IRAs, but your main purpose would be for mutual funds or ETFs. And an ETF is basically a group of stocks. So they might have a growth ETF.
So look, I want to dumb it down again. What is an ETF? Explain what that is to.
Exchange Trade Fund. Boom. I'm correct.
I believe that's it correctly.
You said what?
I believe that's it.
I believe it's an exchange trade fund. But it is basically a group of stocks. So say you have a growth ETF, right? That's the name of it. It's a growth ETF. It would have normally around 15 to 20 something, maybe even more stocks grouped into that ETF. So it might have, let's just say it might have Apple, might have Microsoft, or have Google. And these are just examples. There's not an ETF, I don't believe, that's like this. It may be. But It's just a lot of different stocks combined into one, and you own percentages of one stock. So you may only own, in that one ETF, you might only own 0.27. Well, you might only own a 10% of.
Yeah, like a small fraction.
It's a small fraction of a stock.
Yeah,
Each of those stocks.
Yeah, and for any of those people out here that use things like Stash App and Acorns, those are exactly what you're getting invested in on those apps like that. Like, I know on Stash, anybody want a free $5 not using Stash, hit up your boy. I'm putting the link in the description. Sorry for that, fellas. But no, Stash App is great. Also not sponsored by these guys. You can invest in ETFs for people who aren't as savvy investors, who want to just put their money away, that spare change or something like that. This is another good way to kind of save for the future, just putting money off aside into something that can grow with the potential to grow more than a savings account. With that said, still educate yourself on the market so you know what you're investing in. But it's a good place for beginners to start.
Yeah, it's a great place for beginners to start.
Yeah, I think ETFs are huge because of the difference in price between mutual funds. So a mutual fund, you might have to have $5,000 to $10,000 to start to get into a mutual fund. Whereas an ETF, they have ETFs as low as $30 a stock, or $30 an ETF for your IRA.
So now that we talked about the accounts and different types and a couple different ways to save, we want to talk more about why is it so important to save for retirement. Being that we big on preaching wealth and generational wealth at that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest lessons that I took from like reading all these different books and things like that on my financial literacy journey was that it's important to save for when you can no longer earn it. And that's one of those things that we don't think about a lot, being that we're young. But one of these days, you never know when tragedy is going to strike.
Yeah.
Life happens. So it's important to save so that you're not in a bad predicament.
Which I definitely agree with too, man. You never know how life is going to turn.
No, and I think a lot more people our age are getting more involved in IRAs and 401ks because the previous generation really was relying heavily on the Social Security, and we're seeing that getting taken away slowly but surely. And I think a lot of people are trying to create their own means for retirement.
Yeah. As a whole, I think the millennial generation.
Yeah, I feel like we are trying to better prepare ourselves. I feel like we got a whole lot more entrepreneurs sprouting up. I just feel like the millennials, like we got a good grasp on how the old generation done it, and we don't want to go the wrong way. So I feel like we're pretty solid with stuff like that.
I think, and then I think one of the things that we've got to preach on is understand that this takes time. This is those.
Yes.
Don't look at your IRA, your 401k, and be like, man, it's not even growing nothing. What's the point of it? It takes time. It takes years upon years upon years. It's compound interest, and compound interest, all it is time.
Okay.
And like, to give people an example, just to kind of give them an idea. So think about it like this: you have $40,000 in an account. When you're like, you say like by the time we're 40, we have $40,000 in our IRA accounts.
The NBA playoffs are here, and I'm getting my bets in on FanDuel. Talk to me, Chuck GPT. What do you know?
All sorts of interesting stuff, even Charles Barkley's greatest fear.
Hey, nobody needs to know that.
New customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
21 plus and present in Virginia. Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You got to think that whenever we're doing this every year, say we get like a 5% return. So I'll with 24 divided by, I'm not doing all that math. But what I'm saying is that annual growth is reinvested back in to kind of explain the compound interest back a little bit more. So whenever you put your money in, your money's going to grow every year. And every year, that growth in the money is reinvested back into your money. So your money is just making more money upon money upon money. And that's the benefit of what Kelly is talking about. You can't be in it for the short game. You can't be sitting here thinking you about to just look in your account tomorrow and be like, oh man, I'm ready for retirement. No, we're 20.
Yeah,
like,
it definitely takes time.
It's this for when you're old. It's not money that's meant for you to just use in the present.
And that's why we're talking about it's important for like whenever you're older. Like you said, you could be upon sickness, or even whenever you get older, your spouse falls ill, or you have a child that's very sick, and you might need some money. You don't know where it's going to come from. But if you've invested and you've saved correctly leading up, you could be sitting on $1 million or so whenever you're older, if you do it right, or even more than that. So that's why it's important to invest, because like we said, you never know what your future is going to look like. Or even if you don't have tragedy happen in your future, man, you can, like, what's the age you said, 59 and a half?
59.
Once you're 59 and a half, if you saved up enough money, like saved you up $2 million, you can vacation for the rest of your life.
Go to Cancun, baby.
Or even you can bless your grandkids that's about to go to college, or someone that says, hey, grandpa, grandma, I got this great business idea. I need some money to help start it up. You could be a blessing to someone in your family that's helping to continue that generational wealth right there.
And I think we can't stress this enough, is that don't wait till you're older to try to start doing retirement. If you got kids, definitely start them an IRA. You know, if you can contribute to it, or if they have a job, have them start one. You know, there's no minimum amount you have to contribute. There is a max, but there is no min. You can contribute. If you only got $100, maybe I can only contribute $100 a year or $50 a year. Contribute that. It's at least something to get you started.
Definitely.
Most definitely.
Something over nothing all the time. So now, kind of getting to that with the no minimum idea, a lot of people think, oh man, how can I save for retirement? Man, I got all these bills, like, you know, the typical things that people come across. Because I mean, everyone does have their own situations in life. So one of the things I think we really, really need to drill in is that there are ways to save for retirement. You just have to look to your habits.
Yeah. And
habit is one of the biggest things that we preach over here, because your habits determine your wealth. So say like you're just accustomed to go and get a cup of coffee every morning from like Starbucks. That's a $4 cup of coffee. You keep getting that $4 cup of coffee 5 days a week. All of a sudden,
$20 a week.
You're spending $20 a week. $20 a week, and you work every week of the year, give or take a few days. So we're looking at, 20 times 52. You're looking at $1,040 that you spent on just coffee. You probably could have cut that cost in half by making a cup at home.
Yeah.
And using that, the rest of your contributions, and like just contribute the other half of that to your IRA. Just something. Like Kelly said, something.
Yep. And it's not even just coffee. Like whatever you do, whether it be go and get your nails done, or go and get some new kicks every so often. It's just something sometimes where you just might have to take a sacrifice, where you could just save a little money and just put it to the side. And even if you're not just saving it for retirement, you can save some of that money and invest over time if you got a small savings account where you can just save it up until you have enough money to where you want to invest in something. Like we were saying, open you up a stock account.
Invest in a course, learn the trade, invest in your education, get a mentor. It's a lot of different things you can do with the savings, but just the idea that you should save, and it's important.
Yeah.
And I know we had a lot of people comment on our Instagram about which one is better. Is an IRA or a 401k better? And honestly, in my own opinion, I think you need both. I don't think there's one retirement fund that's just necessary. I think it's both. I think you need an IRA. I think you need a 401k. You might need a savings, and plus other investments that help you bring in money when you retire. I think it's not just one fund that can just give you full retirement.
Yeah, it's not like a binary thing. It's not a one or the other. It's one of those things where do it all because it's all an option.
And I do want to touch on it. I like what you had said about it earlier too, Kelly. It's like situational. Do what fits your situation. Not everybody can put money into both of them.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, there are some people that's taking care of their family and a little bit more, so they can't put that money, split it up like that. So if you can't do both of them, do whichever one suits your situation. Go ahead and educate yourself. Like Kelly said, if you're going to be in a lower income bracket once you retire, that 401k might be your best option. If you're someone who is a heavy investor and you're not going to be in the lower tax bracket once you retire, that Roth IRA might be the way for you. Just once again, just educate yourself on all the types. We're just trying to shine some light on it, and just tell you what's out there, and you're just gonna have to do your own due diligence and see what works for you in your situation.
I feel like this is also a good time, just as a disclaimer, to mention that we are by no means financial advisors. Any financial advice that you take from us is not for like advisory purposes. None of us are licensed to do that. This is just information that we feel like should be shared. So just kind of bringing awareness to the topics.
Most definitely.
So don't come around here saying that them Black Wolf Renaissance people told you to invest in XYZ and you lost your money.
Yeah, y'all don't try to come sue us. We ain't doing all of that.
We ain't told you to do none of that. Okay, so that about wraps up the third episode of the podcast. Thank you all, everybody, for coming and checking out with us, learning a little bit about retirement. This is also another one of those things we're going to continue to go in on. Before we get out of here, Heroes of the Hump, look out for it this week. We got a feature coming out this week, Wednesday at noon. Jalen and I just got our first property under contract. That house that we told y'all about on the introduction.
Yep, that one that we were working with in St. Martinville and stuff. Finally got it under contract, so turn up to that. I'm probably going to add some hand claps and stuff right here.
Hey, you got to add them, son. It's lit, though. Just another thing to show, like, go out there, take a chance. We just really walk into a garage sale and look what it turned into.
Yeah, turned into a great opportunity.
Great opportunity.
We also want to say shout out to all our listeners and followers. We thank y'all. We keep on doing this for y'all. This is all for y'all. We just want to keep on growing the community. Tell anybody that you know about us. Tell them to follow us. Tell them to subscribe to us. Listen to us. We're going to keep on rocking, man.
Special shout out to This Is Rock Life on Instagram, man. Man came, gave us some real key insight. Gave us some good feedback on the podcast. Y'all, feel free to let us know how we can improve. We want to grow and improve. Leave us a rating, review, all that good stuff. We want to hear your feedback. Tell us how we can grow.
And let us know if there's any topics you want us to discuss. We are happy to learn and discuss it. Just DM us on Instagram, leave a review, tell us what you want to know. Tell us what you want to know about us, or what you want to know about investing, or what part of investing.
Yes, sir. And this is Black Wealth Renaissance signing out.
McDonald's has entered a Minecraft movie universe, and Grimace, Birdie, and Hamburglar just spawned as new collectibles in the overworld. Now for a limited time, you can get one of 6 McDonald's collectibles when you order a Minecraft movie meal. Ooh. With your choice of Big Mac or 10-piece chicken McNuggets with spicy nether flame sauce. Available now in a biome near you. Oh, and at your local McDonald's. At participating McDonald's for a limited time. A Minecraft movie only in theaters.